Hello everybody, welcome back to the Son of the Morning Comics channel, and we're gonna do another review here. We're gonna continue our review of Frank Miller's Ronin. Today we're gonna work on chapter 2, so let's get into it. So chapter 2 starts with our Ronin breaking his way out of the sewer, and then he's saying, Taki. That's what he's looking for, Taki. We will find out later on that, sorry for the spoiler, Taki means sword. So, and here they're starting the repairs on the Aquarius station there, where Virgo was located, where Billy was located until the Ronin took his body from him. And so, you know, this Gibbons is working really hard on things, and Casey, the security chief, is a little bit, she can't really wait. But then she finds out that as he crosses the wrong wire and gets blown across the room, that maybe it's the best way to just let him do what he needs to do. And here Casey's a little confused because the hardware seems to be rebuilding itself. And so she's, you know, talking to Virgo, and she's like, she says, Virgo says, I like a machine, what knows it's a machine. Her response is, then she is alive. Virgo, speak to me. Virgo, because she was asking her up here. Virgo made a comment about the station being alive, and so Virgo's a little quiet, and then she comes out and says, well, Casey, you have to find the Ronin. She wants to know what Virgo's talking about, and she says basically the Ronin's out there and he's helpless. We get a shot of New York City here, not looking as devilish as it does in a lot of the other shots of the city. And so we see our Ronin. He sees a place there, and he decides he's gonna go look for his Taki there. So he's able to pronounce the word army, and he's thinking, you know, in his time, an army would have had a sword, so why not check it out? So he goes in there, and basically it's like a mission, and there's, you know, a very not nice nun who is not treating the people very well in the mission, and that she just cares about their salvation. And then she gets her hands on our Ronin, and he doesn't respond to her, and she gets more annoyed with him, and so she's like, oh, well, perhaps it's food that you need. And so he just sits there, he's not eating, and she gets angry and says, God's menu not complete enough? Perhaps you want Taki? Taki, what's Taki? What's that? Some kind of, and I'm not going to repeat the word, food probably. And then she slams his face into the bowl of gruel. Not a very nice thing to do, but it is what it is. The Ronin takes his leave from this place. And so we move back to Aquarius, and here you can see that everything is looking good, according to Virgo, that the complex is 70% complete in its repairs, almost fully operational, and the rest of the lights are coming on like a Christmas tree. Virgo just wants to be kept in the loop of what's going on, and then you see you've been working too hard, Casey, you must be tired. And that's coming from this face here. He is actually the I don't know if it's owner or proprietor, CEO, whatever it is, he runs Aquarius. I'm not going to tell you his name right now because when you find it out in the book, you'll understand why. So Casey wants to know more about the Ronin. She wants to know if the Ronin is the one who blew up the station. And Virgo says, no, I did that on my own. And Casey's sort of like, excuse me? And she said it was the only way to save Billy, I mean the Ronin. And then Casey's response is that, explain it slowly, Virgo, it's been a long night. Billy was our limbless prosthetic tester, how could he? And then she interjects, Virgo, Billy was possessed by the soul of a Ronin. That's a masterless samurai warrior who died 800 years ago in a battle with a demon. The Ronin and the demon were trapped in a magic sword all those centuries until a scientist found the sword and struck it with a laser, and that is how Agat and the Ronin ended up in this modern time here. Or futuristic time, I should say. I don't even know what year this is supposed to be. It would be interesting to find out. And so basically, Virgo is explaining here that, you know, the demon showed up and that Virgo built Billy arms and legs very quickly and then blew him through the sewer chute so he would be safe before she blew up the station. So that was a very interesting character, this Virgo is. And Virgo tells Casey that she's acting too much like a computer, and it's pretty funny. And then Casey says it's the 21st century, Casey, or she says it's the 21st century, Casey, try to have an open mind. So I guess this is taking place sometime in our current century. I don't know the year though. The next thing here is really interesting. Like, I guess the Ronin is still seeking out food. He ends up in this club with all sorts of strange characters that are, I would have to say for the most part, androgynous. Really hard to tell what's what here. But basically they decide right away they don't like him and decide to attack him. And that doesn't work out well for them as he kicks some ass pretty good. And then, you know, the leader of the pack, there's response is smooth. Can't tell you if that's a male or female or a trans or anything. I don't know. It's very hard to tell in these scenes. So, you know, it's... they're interested in who this guy is now because, you know, he has just taken out a whole bunch of people relatively easily. Someone goes to, you know, stab him here and he takes the knife out of their hands with his fingertips and then slices their throat. And then the leader here says, come on, I got a surprise for you. She's got a gun. And guns are a little bit more difficult to deal with. And they're trying to figure out where he's from. One guy says, is he from Brooklyn? And Brooklyn, this is, to me, why is this person wearing a swastika around their arm? But I don't know. I just have to point it out. And not from Brooklyn. No, he's from a further place than that. And he's lost and alone and he must be scared, and then they shoot him. So, you know, is that going to get the job done? I think probably not. As you can see, I mean, it's hard to tell sometimes with Frank Miller's art, but, and the colorist I don't think did him too many favors here, but, or maybe he colored it himself. Nope. Wasn't him. Okay. So, you know, he kicks some ass and then leaves these people behind. But not yet. So, like, they're trying to, you know, he beats everyone up a little bit. They do sort of corral him. Then the leader comes up. He spits in her face. She boots him. And then, I think, here, I like the way that this guy's got these perfect spectacles in this, like, super apocalyptic scene. So that crew thinks that they've left him for dead, and by all rights he should be dead after getting shot at point blank range, but you can see he's starting to get up, starting to move, calling for Taki again. And this is, you know, another shot of New York with the Aquarius thing sort of enveloping it, which I don't really understand how and why that is, but that's okay. Now back at the Aquarius Center there, Casey's having a snack, she's chewing on an apple, and she asks Virgo if she thinks that they're both still alive, being the demon and the Ronin, and Virgo responds, the Ronin for sure. It's hard to say about the demon, but, you know, you gotta beware of the demon, and if he is alive, he'll be after the Ronin, and it's Casey, you know, has to find the Ronin because he's helpless in Manhattan, yeah, and so, you know, she realizes that she's gonna have to go search for this Ronin, and she tells Casey to be careful because, you know, the demon is very clever and can get her at any time because it's a shapeshifter. And next we finally hear from the leader of the Aquarius project, and he says, memo to all department heads. I am pleased to announce that the Sawa Corporation has offered to invest heavily in the Aquarius complex. Paragraph, as you know, this is very good news for Aquarius and for the city to which we are committed. But we must not allow our enthusiasm to make us forget the basic character of our corporation. We are and will remain for as long as I am president and owner of Aquarius, a non-military operation. The Sawa Corporation is presently developing military technology for 3 Western nations. I feel that participation by Aquarius in this aspect of Sawa's activities would be improper. The world is poised on the brink of a very final war, and while startling advances we have made in cybernetics, we serve well such purposes. Aquarius will not be party to Armageddon. Now, as you can see, as he's finishing up that last paragraph there, you kind of see that demon look of Agat sort of showing up. And then, you know, he approaches our leader of Aquarius here, and then, you know, calls him an idiot. And, you know, basically, as you can see here, takes his form. So this is now our demon, Agat. Next scene, Casey is, you know, she's there with her soldiers, telling them that they're gonna have to go into the streets and find the Ronin and bring him back. And, you know, they're having to go out at night, which is when all of the, as they say, the freaks are out. none of these officers are too pleased about the situation, but she's their boss. They're gonna go find the samurai, and I just think it's funny here. She repeats Virgo's statement to her. She says, "Gentlemen, it's the 21st century. You have to have open minds." So they head out to find the Ronin, but the Ronin is found first. So we got this guy here who was in the mission at the start. He's a samurai, and he's pulling him to somewhere. We don't know where yet, but we'll find out. And here we learn for the first time the name of the guy running Aquarius, and his name is Mr. Taggart. Kind of funny how Agat took over Taggart, which has all of those letters in it. Just a coincidence, I'm sure, right? And so he's coming to check on the progress of the station being built. You know, he does seem a little off to this other guy working there, but he doesn't really suspect too much. And then, so we'll pick it up here where he is, he wants to be informed about anything that's happening. You know, this is quite a place, this Aquarius complex, the power like nothing seen before, in the age of man like nothing since, yes sir, Mr. Taggart, it's a beauty, and it's sure a shot in the arm to the city. And don't think we don't know who brought it here, Mr. Taggart. Don't think we don't know. And because it was him that brought it. And so he says, "This city, Mr. Learned, you lack vision. The potential of this place, this historic mix of mind and will and machine, this city, it could change the fate of the entire planet." So Agat has got some plans, as you can tell. So we're back here with our Ronin again, and he is been taken into this guy's lair, I guess, and sort of strapped down to a crucifix, where this guy has decided that the Ronin's cybernetic arms are going to be the perfect thing to fix the warp drive on his spaceship here. I'm sure this guy thinks that he knows what he's doing, but doesn't really appear to really know what he's doing very much. But that's okay. So he pulls out this little laser thing that he's going to use to remove the Ronin's arm, which he does, and you can see he's got it in his hands there. The Ronin's just lying there armless, and then this guy starts talking. He says, "Hex, she's twitching," and he kind of freaking out a little bit because the arm that he has cut off has reached up and is now strangling him. So, you know, it strangles him down to the ground, and then the arm magically finds its way back into the circuits and then becomes whole again. The Ronin gets up, looks around, finds an old samurai hat, thinks, that's good for me, and then he finds Taki. So he's got a sword, and then we just see a flashback here, or maybe this is, no, he's just saying he's got the sword now, he's showing it, and so then we have these street toughs again are coming at him, but this time he's got his Taki. How do you think this is going to end for them? Short answer, not well. So, and then there's the guy with the spectacles again. He's just like, oh wow. Then our leader lady and her thug buddy there have another gun, and they tell him, you know, freeze, basically. You know, your time's up, drop the weapon. So before there can be any reaction time, the Ronin spins around, as you can see here, and pretty much slices the head clean off of that guy. And then now her response is, "Stranger, you and me, we could get friendly." So you can see the, he leaves behind here. He does a good job of that. And so then he meets this guy here, he's saying, "Calm down, I have a flower in my hat, I'm a good guy." He's involved in creative management because he thinks this guy can go a long way. He wants to dress him up so he can be, the next gang leader in New York, I suppose. But unfortunately, Casey's guards show up and they say, they want him to drop the sword. Once again, I'm not going to use the word they say. Get another shot of New York here. And then on to the last page of chapter 2 here, where she's getting a sort of call-in report from her men in the field, and they're basically telling her, like, we had him dead to rights. Did everything right, but he absolutely destroyed us all. And that is how chapter 3 comes to a conclusion. So, very cool story, keeps getting cooler. If you like this content, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, leave some comments. You can visit me over at sonofthemorning7 over on Twitter. And I'll probably do chapter 3 of this in the next couple days. Really enjoying rereading this and reviewing this for everybody. So thank you once again for joining me here on the Son of the Morning Comics channel. See you later.